everyone, welcome to the new video. So today we will see the demonstration of kubectl commands, and I'll try to cover as many kubectl commands as I can and try to show the output of all of them. So without further ado, let's start the video. So first command that we'll see is kubectl version client. What is this command? This command will show that whether the kubectl is installed, what is the version, customize is installed, um, the versions we can see. Then if we want to see that about the cluster info, like if a control plane is running, or core DNS, which is an important component for the networking, that is running or not. Okay, we can see we can use kubectl cluster info with that, and we can find that where is core DNS running, what is where actually the control plane is running. Then we can run kubectl get nodes. This will basically display cluster node information, the minikube is running at what is the status, what is the role, what how much age it is, what is the version of it. If we want to see the pods status which are running inside these nodes, okay, again I am mistyping it. So we can see these are the pods running, what is the restart, what is the age, what is the status, that all we can see. If we want to create a deployment, we have the command kubectl create deployment, and the deployment name which we want to give, and then the image from where that deployment will be created. So okay, 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 image name I'm using incorrect again, my bad. So we can see the deployment.apps nginx test is created, and if we do kubectl get deployments, as of now we'll see nginx test deployment is created. The As of now, because there is only one one, we have not given any number of replicas, so it is created one. So one pod will be created. If we'll see nginx test, one pod is created, and it's in pending state, and the age is 30 seconds. Okay, if we want to see basically what is the image used, what are the events of that pod, specific pod, so we can do kubectl describe pod, and we can copy the pod name from here, we can give it over here. We'll see the events, we'll see the volumes attached to it, we'll see the namespace, basically which namespace is used, what is the service account used, what are the amounts, everything. So that we can see by getting the kubectl describe pod. If we want to see specifically these events, or any event of this like, we're not defining any pod name or anything, but if you just want to see the recent events, or all the events happened in that particular node, we can see it from here by using kubectl. If we want to check about particular namespace, that we'll see it. So now if we want to see, so as of now we have describe pod, but if we want to see logs, so instead of describe pod, we'll just do kubectl logs and the pod name. So there are no logs created, because as of now that pod has gone into pending state. So pending state means that it has not, the node is not ready to schedule a pod. Okay, so that's why there are no logs created. But if there are multiple pods in the same, multiple containers in the same pod, okay, then we need to give the pod name plus the cluster name by using a container name. So as of now there are no container, but if we have multiple container in the same pod, so inside pods the container runs. So if we have multiple containers, then we will have to give the container name to check the particular containers logs. Now if we have to go inside any pod, that for that we need to use kubectl exit command hyphen it interactive way, and the pod name, and we have to remove pod from here, just the pod name, and we need to give the so we need to give here, the the shell, or whatever shell, or whatever shell we are using, we need to give that. And it's a bad request because our pod is not even scheduled, that's why. But I'm just showing the command. Then if we want to scale the deployment, right now our one replica is only running, but if we want to scale the deployment, then we need to give this command replicas, and whatever, if you want to scale it to 2 or 3, we need to give it to that number. If we want to, by the way, if we want to see the history of the deployment, like right now, if we want to roll out the status, or just the deployment history of particular deployment. So if we see deployment and nginx test we created, right, to finish, because the replicas are not available, so we cannot roll out. But as of now, I'm saying we can see even the history. Right now the status is, we can also see the history, what what versions of deployment have been deployed. So there is only one revision, one version that got deployed. We can undo it by using kubectl rollout undo command if we want to undo that particular deployment that we have done. We can if we are creating the manifest file, and then we are trying to deploy the deployment, then we have to do kubectl apply -f, and we need to give that YAML file, which, like, it should be present in the particular path where we are doing running this command. Then if we want to see the all the services which are running, or not the services but every resource running in that, so deployment, replica set, services, pods, everything will be shown by using kubectl get all. If we want to see only the service, then we need to give kubectl get svc command. If you want to see the top nodes which are consuming, matrices not available, top pods, let's see if this is matrices api not available, okay. Then if what is namespaces? So right, as of now I'm not giving any namespace, I'm not creating any particular deployment any namespace, but we can create namespace using this command namespaces dev. Okay, should I just give namespace? Okay, it already exists, but you can create namespace where, if we want to get the namespaces, what all namespaces are there, so these are already running. And if we want to deploy any particular deployment, create in a particular namespace, then if we have to use the same command. It's just that we need to give namespace by using -n, okay. And if we want to watch the status right now, like if my we have to give -w, means it will watch that what is the status, and if the status changes, we will get the, if any pod status changes, then we'll get the the status here. So it's like we are watching, it's an interactive mode, okay. So that if we want to delete, so we can delete pod. So if we want to delete this pod, we have to give kubectl delete pod. So the pod will be deleted. And if we again see the get pod, so we'll see that it is still 5 seconds. It after deletion also it is again trying, because deployment, because the pod is running through deployment, so deployment is trying to make the replica count equal to what we mentioned, so it is again trying to make it up. But if we delete the deployment directly, then it won't be there. So if I try to delete the deployment nginx test, then sorry, delete deployment, I'm giving delete deployment. So you see that it is saying the deployment is deleted. And if I get, so there is no nginx found, and if I see watch, you'll see that nginx test is now not there, pod is not there. That's all for today's video. I hope it's helpful. Please let me know your views in the comment section. Till then, take care. Bye.